Today, we're going to be talking about the 50-30-20 rule. And this is a basic personal finance rule that teaches you to divide up your after-tax income and allocate it to spend 50% for needs, 30% for wants, and 20% for savings or debt. So now let's get into the 50% part of this 50-30-20 rule. Remember, you're using your after-tax income for this rule. This is how it's going to work. You're going to look at 50% of your take-home pay and you're going to allocate that to your needs. Needs are those bills that you absolutely must have, things that are necessary. And this could include having a rent payment, having a mortgage payment. You're paying for groceries, insurance, healthcare, and utilities. You got to keep the lights on, right? These are your must-haves. The needs category, I'm going to say, does not include items that are extras such as HBO, Netflix, Starbucks, certain kinds of subscriptions, and even dining out. So half of your after-tax income should be all that you need to cover your needs and obligations. If you're using more than 50% of your after-tax income on needs, then you're going to have to look at the other two categories and cut those down a bit, or you're going to have to learn to try to downsize your lifestyle, perhaps move into a smaller home, sell that car that you're making a payment on and try to find a used car, a used modest car. Maybe carpooling to work, taking public transportation to work is a solution. Cooking at home more often could help with those kinds of things. You definitely want to look at the other areas, the other two categories of the 30% and the 20%, which we're getting ready to talk about, and see if you can reduce that and increase your needs as you try to adjust. But ultimately, you want that need category to be 50% of your after-tax income. The next category is wants, and this is 30% of your after-tax income that you're going to be using for your wants. Wants are all the things that you want to spend money on that are not absolutely essential, not critical to your well-being, to your livelihood. And this includes, dinner and movies out. This includes a new handbag. This could be tickets to sporting events, the latest, electronic gadgets, any kind of item that is not necessarily an urgent need right then and there. So anything in the wants bucket obviously is optional, right? It's your choice if you want that item. It's your choice if you have a family member who wants that item. Again, I talked about subscriptions to HBO. Yes, even gym memberships for certain people who really don't need a gym membership. Obviously, health is wealth. You want to make sure that you're taking care of your health. So depending on who you are in your situation, that might be a needs more than just a want. But if it's a want, you know it, right? You know whether or not you need that gym membership. But this category, 30% wants, is obviously something that you can kind of negotiate, something that you can kind of increase or decrease depending on how much you're using for your needs, and 20% for the next category, savings and debt. And this is a very important part because I do believe that a lot of us don't allocate enough for savings. I'm happy if you're saving 5, 10, 15%, but I'm going to challenge you to try to increase that a little bit. For this 20% category, you definitely do not want to reduce this. Why? Because this is your savings and this is your debt. If you're paying down debt, you want to be able to pay that debt down as quickly as possible. Remember, I always teach, if you're going to be living on debt, if you're going to have credit cards, if you're going to have student loans, if you're going to try to take care of that debt as quickly as you can, because the path to financial freedom is going to be hindered by student loan debt, is going to be delayed by any kind of accruing debt. I'm not talking about a mortgage. I'm not talking about, a mortgage for a condominium, for a townhome, or for a house, because I think that's reasonable debt, right? That's debt that you can live with for 15 years or so. However, if you're talking about credit card debt, student loans, a car payment, these are the kinds of debt that you want to be able to pay off as quickly as possible. So maybe you don't have all of that 20% going to savings. Maybe you only have 5% going to savings for retirement in your 401k or an IRA, and maybe the 15% of that category is going to your debt. So that way, when you do finally pay off your debts, you're able to fully contribute that 20% for retirement. And if you do the math, I'll link to some videos in the description below. You're going to be so amazed and so shocked at how much money you can have for retirement, for the future, to pass on to generations after you, and ultimately to achieve financial freedom. And so the 20% you're going to be allocating to savings and debt, just depending on your situation, wherever you are. You may have debt that you're currently paying off. And ultimately what this suggests is that if you have, $1,000 of income every month or $2,000 of income every month, month, you're going to take 20% of that. You would look at 20% of that. If it's $1,000, that's $200. If it's $2,000 you make a month, then that's $400. And you would allocate that money to saving and debt. Now, here's the thing that I would do. I would, invest up to the match if I was in debt. I would invest up to the match in my 401k. I would try to, fund whatever I could in a IRA if I don't have access to 401k. But ultimately, of that 20%, I'm putting more toward debt because I want to achieve financial freedom as soon as possible. And the longer I stay in debt, the longer it's going to take me to achieve financial freedom. Let me know if you plan to use this 50-30-20 rule or what rule you use. There is a 1/3 rule where people do 33% for needs, 33% for wants, and 33% for savings. Yes, 33% for savings. Now you're starting to get into the financial independence and retire early community and how they tend to manage their money in terms of achieving financial freedom, achieving financial independence sooner than later. And that's a topic that I definitely plan to cover in the future. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and don't forget to like this video, and I'll see you very soon. Peace.